Let me turn this around. I wanted to go over a couple things here about getting started in real estate. And I'm going to go over some strategies on how you can get started and then do some Q&A. Trying something different. I'm trying to go live on both platforms. So I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. So hopefully this works out. Let's see here. Question that I always get is, where do I even start? How do I get started? Do I need money? How do I do it? So let's make sure that you guys can see this. Okay. One of the first key pieces of knowledge when you're starting out is how to understand what a good real estate deal is, what a bad real estate deal is. Okay. It's key because look, if you're going to be buying properties, like in your area, you need to know what good areas are, what a good deal is, what property values are. You need to understand the basics. And to understand the basics, guess what you need? You need knowledge of that market. And first and foremost, you got to understand what a good and bad deal is. Good deal, bad deal, right? And in order to really understand this, you're going to get that from understanding how wholesaling is. What is wholesaling? So you got to research. Oh, I misspelled that. I'm just going to put wholesaling. Wholesaling, research it. Understand it. And what it is, it's marketing to motivated sellers. How are these, who are these motivated sellers, right? Where they live, what's going on with them. A motivated seller is somebody that has distress in their finances, life changes, and or, for example, a big time life change is when somebody passes away. Unfortunate, we all have somebody or know somebody that's going to pass away. That's just the problem. So what happens to that property that they live in, it goes through the probate process, okay? So life changes, finance, let's talk about the economy, okay? So obviously what happened in the last year is COVID happened. So when COVID hit, there was probably a ton of people that lost their jobs. So when you have big time finance changes in your finances, changes in your life, and changes in the economy, that's where the motivation comes from these homeowners. So you have to get good at marketing to motivated sellers. That is why when you're starting off in real estate, wholesaling is the way to go. Why? Because you're going to understand how to market to these motivated sellers. On top of that, you're going to understand how to negotiate with sellers and then get them in contract to either, if you want to wholesale it, great, because that's how you want to get started in it, because you can make $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 without having to fix it up, without having to take the risk of actually buying the property. Then you got to renovate the property. And then you got to put the property to market and sell it. Wholesaling basically allows you to understand what a good deal is, what a bad deal is, understand your market, understand to target these type of sellers. And then on top of that, once you start making some money, then you can start investing into rental properties, okay? Because you get a good understanding of your market. You get to know, a lot of times you're going to be talking to buyers or other investors in your area. So they're even going to tell you, hey, this is an area that I like to buy because there's a lot of good population growth here. The area is pretty good. The rents are pretty high. And, I see a lot of good things happening in that neighborhood. So in the beginning, when I got started, I did wholesaling because I started off right into rehabbing. No knowledge in real estate investing. My first house failed. But then I looked for something else and I found wholesaling. And then I started making, the most money I've ever made wholesaling properties, and then eventually I went and kept some of these rentals, okay? And that started back in 2012. Wholesaling is such a great way to gain that knowledge that you need so that you have a good foundation to become the real estate investor owning rental properties. And then, hey, if you want to graduate and go into doing commercial deals, there's so many facets of real estate. This is the best way right here. Wholesaling is the best way to get started, okay? Let me just make sure you guys can see that. All right. Whoops, I forgot to go live on an Instagram. Oh, well. But thank you guys for following me. Hey, let me know what city and state you're joining me on this live, and then also let me know if you're in real estate. If you got any questions, I'm going to go over a couple more things before I take some Q&A, but I'm going to move on. So we started with wholesaling, and then once you start making some money, right, and then you want to get into rental properties, I just did a video. Go see it and comment any questions that you have about house hacking. So let me show you what house hacking is. Basically, house hacking is buying. I'm just going to draw the best I can, okay, guys? Don't judge me for my drawing here. You guys like that? That's my 4-unit house. So house hacking. And I like doing it in multifamily, small multifamily, 4 units, triplexes or duplexes, because guess who you're gonna be living with? You're gonna be living with the person that you're renting out to. So the more separation that you can get from them and not actually doing the house is better in my opinion. So this is how you get started in owning rental property. You can get you can use an FHA loan. You can use a rehab loan, FHA rehab loan, which is low down payments, typically around 3.5%, 3%. But you can buy up to a 4-unit, live in 1 unit right here. You're living in 1 unit. You're collecting rent. Let's just say collecting $600 here, $600 here. In these other units, one of these will pay for your mortgage. The rest, you're going to collect cash flow, right? And so house hacking basically is using your FHA loan to buy yourself a 4-unit. You're going to live in one end. You're going to rent out the other. You can get property management to rent out these other units, and you don't have to collect the rent yourself. You following me? So that's why I like this strategy when you're starting off owning rental properties, is you can use these FHA loans, especially right now. Guess what's out there? There's first-time home buyer credits. There's 15K tax credits that are out there. You can utilize all the advantages of being a first-time home buyer to buy a property or rent it out, get the taste of owning rental property, plus get all the tax advantages of that, and then you can create yourself probably, buy 3 or 4 of these, and you can create another stream of income, which eventually you can use to get out of your JOB if that's what you want, okay? That's what you want. You can scale from this model to getting private lenders, to getting multiple projects going on at a time, and you are taking advantage of this. If I knew about this when I started, I would have done that, but I didn't. And so this is a great strategy, guys. It's called house hacking. So here's the thing. We got people from Columbus, awesome. Long Beach, Cali, great. Thank you for joining. Here's the thing. When you're starting off, okay, I would definitely get a property manager. So when I started buying rentals, I did all of that, finding tenants, collecting the rent, knocking on doors, posting the notices. If that's not your gig, if that is not within your DNA to go and do that, hire a property manager. If you want to gain that experience, if you think you're tough enough to do that, then do it. But a property manager can collect the rent. They can find a resident for you. You don't have to technically be the owner. You can be incognito, right? They don't need to know who you are. You can live in one side. You can be obviously friendly with them, but they don't need to know that you're the owner, okay? This is gonna allow you to still live the life that you want, but you're collecting cash flow every month and living for free. You can do this as many times as possible. I'm telling you. Now, and especially if you don't have access to private lenders, if you don't have access to private money lenders, if you don't hard money lenders, if you don't have a lot of cash, you can utilize the FHA loan. It's 3.5% down to do this strategy. That's what I would do in the beginning to start buying rental properties. Now, on top of that, as you're doing this strategy, you can still do the wholesaling. You can still have your wholesale business finding you deals, finding you good deals to either flip and buy and hold, right? So I'm telling you, this right here, this strategy, if I would have done this in the beginning, I would have been so happy. Now, I'm not regretting any of this, but this strategy right here I have to share is the best way to get started as a beginner owning rental properties. All right, so we talked about wholesaling, why it's good to start off wholesaling because of the knowledge that you can gain of understanding your market, how to find a good deal, how to market to motivated sellers. And then on top of that, when you're starting off buying rental properties, doing the house hacking strategy. House hacking is the way to go. All right, before I move on, because I'm going to talk about how you can get paid owning rental properties. It's a little bit more advanced strategy because you got to raise private capital, private lenders. I want to answer some questions about this. What I just went over, because I went over it pretty fast. But Steve, how you doing? Thank you for this question. Do you find better success cold calling or direct mail? So cold calling right now is working better. In the last 6 months, we've had way more success doing cold calling, Steve. But direct mail still works. So when a lot of people were sending out text messages and ringless voicemail and cold calling, well, nobody was sending direct mail because it's, when everybody's doing one thing, everyone kind of like focuses on this, you got to zig and zag. So right now we do both, but we do direct mail a little bit more strategically. It's not just a full-blown assault of direct mail. It's very strategic, but still do both. We're seeing more success with cold calling right now. Thank you for sharing my live video. I appreciate you. All I want to know is how to start real estate with no money. So you're going to need, to maneuver around not having any money, okay? You might still have to pay, if you're using a loan like this, FHA, you still might have to, because you can use down payment assistance to cover that 3.5% down, okay? The question is, sorry, it's Jafar. The question is how to use this strategy without any money. So you can use the down payment assistance on this, but there still might be some cost in there, okay? It could be a couple $1,000s. If you went and did this strategy using private lenders, then you can have your purchase and your rehab funded by a private lender, and then you don't have any of your money, okay? And I can talk about the burst strategy, but do you have, a private lender is going to want to know, do you have any experience? Do you have a team? They want to know that their investment is going to be safe, and it's going to be somebody that has some experience. So give or take, you might have to give a little bit more of the deal in the back end when you're starting off and you have to build your credibility packet in front of these private lenders. But that's what I would do. I would try and do the down payment assistance on the FHA loans and do the house hacking strategy. You could probably cover all of your down payment using that. I mean, I did a video earlier this year about the Bank of America. They have a home grant that, and you got to check their website, but they have a home grant that they can pay up to $17,500 for the FHA loan. Okay, so look into that. Good question though. Got somebody from Columbus. Awesome. Columbus, Ohio, OH. Jafar, thank you coming from Iraq. We got some Iowa, California, Cleveland. I would like to start. Awesome. Follow all of my my TikTok videos and follow us on the YouTube right there. It's CREAM, Real Estate Investors, stands for Cash Flow, Real Estate and Money. On top of that, I'm also on IG. Couldn't figure out how to go live on IG, but it is what it is. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm gonna try and go live here. Okay, so next question is, does the loan pay for the rehab costs? So in when you are applying for the FHA rehab loan, how it works is that they'll fund your purchase and your renovation costs into the loan. Okay, and if you it's 3.5% down, but if you have a higher credit score of 640, then you can get the lowest down payment. But if your credit isn't that good, if you have like low 500 credit, then your credit score is like low 500s, then you're gonna probably have to pay close to 10% down. Okay. So let's see here. Sup, sir, from Wisconsin. Awesome. Nice to meet Wisconsinians. I don't know. My biggest issue is funding right now. So if your issue is funding and you need help with that, we have a private money course. Just PM me. You can send me a DM. You can also send me a text at 614-810-4622 and send me OPM. I'd love to help you if that's what you are looking for. Okay. Another question. I need help, RJ. So what specifically are you needing help with? Okay. I've got about 15 minutes to answer some Q&A. Looks like I just joined. Yep. I'm live on IG as well. But for those guys on IG, I'm sorry. I just did a video on how to get started. I talked about wholesaling. Wholesaling is a great way to get started in your market because you're going to understand what a good deal, what a bad deal is. And the strategy behind me is house hacking. And you can house hack your way. Let me see if I can flip this around. I can't. I don't know how to do it. House hacking is a great way to start owning rental properties with the least amount of down payments, about 3.5% down on an FHA rehab loan or an FHA loan. And I would do that strategy if I was getting started in real estate, now that I know the stuff that I know now. So thank you. Love the content. Love you guys that are following me. Appreciate it. All the questions that you guys have, I try to get to into my DMs and then also in here on these lives. So I'm gonna go back and forth between IG and TikTok and answer some questions. But let me just review. So house hacking, what I would do is house hack a 4-unit. Okay, a 4-unit, and at the very least a duplex. Why? Because you can live in one unit and the other unit is going to pay for your mortgage. That's on the very minimum duplex, okay? You could do it on a house, but I don't prefer to live with my renters. I would rather have that separation of one unit and the other unit. And I like the 4-plex play because you can still have one of your renters pay for your mortgage, and then you can collect 2 other units that are paying your rent. So you not only do you live for free, but you get some cash flow. Make sense? So let's see here. Let me answer another question. Oh, thank you for amazing content. Hey, I appreciate you. Scotty, what's up? Let me just back up here so that I can get your questions. What credit score do you recommend to have starting out real estate? When you're starting off real estate, when I started off real estate, my credit was so freaking bad that they probably should have called the cops. I'm talking like low 400s. Why? Because in my real estate journey, okay, I started off with a house that I rehabbed. I had no clue what I was doing. I took the approach of I'm going to figure it out, and I figured out the hard way. I had to give that house back. My credit went to shit. And so my start in real estate was with low credit score. And what I had to do was wholesale my way out of that mess, And thank God for private lenders because they don't really check your credit score. They're just checking for your credibility and then also the deal that you're bringing to the table, okay? So if you're building up your credit and you need help with that, I can certainly help you because that's what I had to do. I had to build my credit from basically the bottom and now, it could be better, but I'm in the high 7s on my credit. If you're looking to get an FHA loan, the best deal on an FHA loan is you got to get at least a 620 to 640. It's going to get you the best deal. And meaning the best terms on how much you have to put down, okay? So what was the video you posted about using $100 to get in a deal on a house? Okay, so I'll just sum it up for you, okay? When you're putting a house in contract, let's just say this 4-unit, you're putting it in contract. You can use $100 as earnest money deposit. You don't give it to the seller. You can put it at the title company, and then you can do whatever you have. Now you have this contract that you can sell, right? I got this contract on a house. I can sell the contract, or I can find a private lender to say, hey, I have a really good deal on this. Here are the terms that I'm, here are the terms that I'm looking for. Do you want to do this deal? All right. In the beginning, if you get a house in contract, try and wholesale it. Okay. There's so many buyers right now, especially right now in the market. There's more buyers than there are homes. And if you have an off-market property, that's like a freaking hot commodity right now. So that was the video. Go review it. If you have any other questions, take them back here to this live. I got about 10 more minutes and then I got to run. Start over. I just got here. Okay. For those who just got here, I'm talking about how to get started in real estate. And the very first thing you should do is research wholesaling, because wholesaling will allow you to understand what a good deal, what a bad deal is in the market. You're going to get basic knowledge and understanding of what things are going to rent for, how to calculate rehab, a renovation budget, how to market to motivated sellers. And then you get to start talking to other investors in your market, and they're going to give you a lot of useful information. I remember when I was I had a phone call with a buyer who was one of the biggest landlords in Columbus, and he was telling me why certain deals he would say no to, whether it was a particular area, whether it didn't have a lot of appreciation in that area, where the rents were going in that area. And he would give me a history of, hey, I used to own here, and here's why I got out of that pocket. This is my pocket now, and this is my plan. This investor was doing a lot of rent to own, which is really good strategy. So he would basically mentor me, and I was just a wholesaler who understood how to find good deals and how to find buyers, right? So wholesaling will allow you to build up some more knowledge and understand what's a good deal, what's a bad deal in your market. And that's why I always say, look, if you're getting started, learn the basics. And then also when you're getting started, you want to do when you buy rental property, you got to use house hacking, guys. House hacking is such a great way. I like house hacking. This is my idea. The best way to do house hacking was with a 4-unit. So you can live for free in one of the units, one of the renters paying it, and then you get to collect cash flow in the other 2 units. So that's what you guys missed. Hey, can you talk about the credibility packet? Scotty's got some really good questions. So a credibility packet is basically, especially if you don't have any experience at all, a credibility packet could be information about the house, information about the area of the house, where the house is in, and then also like pictures of renovations that you might have done. If you haven't done any renovations, then only focus on how good the deal is, and then also get references from like your friends and family, whether it's like a coach, where somebody that you helped out, to just build that you have some trustability. Does that make sense, Scott? In the beginning, you don't have a lot. You have the only thing that you have is a good deal. So focus on the deal, and then also focus on attributes that you have, like you're a trustable person that you're going to pay your money, back to that lender. If you don't have any of that, then it's going to be really, really tough for you to get your first private lender. But sometimes you're going to have to give up a little bit more on the deal. Sometimes you're going to have to partner with that private lender on the deal. So be willing to give up a little bit more in the beginning so that you can build your credibility packet. So you want to document before and afters. You want to document the paperwork, right? The paperwork, the note and mortgage and all that. And so when you start on that first house, you do it and you're successful and you pay back your lenders. You want to and this is a good thing, you can also get like a letter of recommendation from that first lender so that it's easier for you to go to another lender. That's a credibility packet. Scotty, thank you for that question, buddy. It's good to see you on here. Let's see. Let me switch on and see what's going on in the IG crowd here, guys. Let's see. I have a house right now. I want to use that, but not sure if I should get refinanced line of credit. Okay, so this question's coming from IG, and it's talking about he wants to pull out equity out of the house, use a line of credit or equity loan. So, if you use a home equity loan or HELOC loan, whatever it is, they're going to loan up to like, I think 80% of your house. It's a really good strategy, right? Line of credit is also a good strategy. But make sure that you're actually going to use that to go and do a real estate deal and then pay back your loan so that, you know, you're not going to run into any credit issues. So if I was to do that, then I would probably do some short-term kind of deals. Like if I was to take a property down right now, especially right now in the state of the market, take a property down, do a little bit of a rehab, and then put it right back in the market. That's called wholesaling. That's what I would do right now. Don't get into really big rehabs and get yourself in trouble, okay? Thank you for giving us amazing content. I'm gonna go back to TikTok. Thank you. You're welcome. If you guys like the content, do the hearts thing, share it with your friends. You guys got me for another 5 minutes and then I gotta run. Would you take a deal? Yeah, if you guys have deals that you want us to take a look at, send me a DM, all right? We do deal reviews in our community. If you wanna join our community, type or text me community at 614-810-4622. We did our first call last week. People got a lot of value from it. It's because we're sharing strategies that's actually working right now in our market, okay? In our business. And Dave and I have been in this market. We're in Columbus, Ohio, for you guys just joining. We've been buying up homes and buying up all over Columbus, and now we're buying up all over Ohio since 2012. And hey, I mean, the real reason why we're here is obviously we're building up our community. I actually enjoy doing these lives and teaching. Didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I do, but here I am. Oh, we got some Mike. If you're on, let's get on live and chat, buddy. All right, love the content, bro. Thank you. ARV, reading and finding deals. Bro, deals coming your way. Awesome, Paul. We'd love to buy some deals from you, man. I've been waiting on you. Been worried sick. Had an offer accepted on a house built in 1885. Big things to look out for during inspection. This is a good question for TikTok and IG. When you're buying older homes, definitely check that plumbing from the house to the city, okay? That connection, since it's so old, probably has a ton of old pipes that you probably need to budget out for. On top of that, the foundation of that house, you probably need to do drain tiles, and that's another $5,000 to $6,000 depending on how big your house is. Those are the key things that I would look out for in older homes. And then obviously the most important part is just the main mechanics of the house: your furnace, the hot water tank, your electric, if it's an old knob and tube. 1800s. I mean, I don't even know what kind of systems they had back then, if they had electric, but it's probably knob and tube, depending on if they even updated that house. So good question. Flying Hawaiian Ryan. Great name. Do you need to get a job to get an FHA loan? So I'm pretty sure that is something that they check. That's why W-2 income is important when you're going after loans. So if you don't have that, then consider getting a private money lender and or hard money, Paul. Let's see. You want to join? Send me a text. Guys, send me a text if you guys want to join the community, 614-810-4622. All right, going back on TikTok. How long do I need to live in the house? So I think you need to live in it for at least 1 year to avoid capital gains tax. When you do sell it, it's 2 years. Capital gains is when you sell a property and you have to pay the tax on the gains on the house. For you guys that don't know that, I'm sure you guys do. But so thank you. I'm looking at some questions. I missed the wholesaling part. For you guys that missed the wholesaling part on IG and or on TikTok, I have a ton of videos on how to wholesale properties. I also have a video on it on my YouTube channel. It's The Cream Real Estate Investors. Dave and I talk about wholesaling for free there. I have even a breakdown of how to do it, okay? So I'm late. Most of you guys are late, huh? It's okay. So any other questions? I talk about, what's up, Kong? I see you. Get on here, let's chat. My battery is low though, so it might die. Got 2 phones here. I'm going live here and I'm going live on TikTok. So I talk about how to get started. Wholesaling is the best way to review. Wholesaling is basically finding a great deal from a motivated seller. Then you're taking that great deal and you're finding a end buyer, right? You're flipping your contract to an end buyer for a profit. You know, if you get a house in contract for 100K and you're marketing up 20,000 and you're selling to your end buyer for 120, you make the difference there. I mean, and why would the buyer pay $20,000 more? Because that house is probably worth 200 or 250, and it's an off-market deal. It's not on the MLS where everyone's getting all of this, or everyone's going after the same deal. Off-market property right now that you can bring to the market is a hot commodity. Guess what? In Columbus, there's literally only like 1,300 properties listed on the MLS. 1,300 properties, where normally it's 5,000, 6,000 properties. If you can get an off-market deal, you can sell it. If you can't sell it, then something's wrong with your deal. It either needs too much rehab, or we're talking, or you have it priced too much. Okay. So I'm getting some questions. I'll continue this for a little bit longer here. I got to run. We're dropping the dogs off because we are going out of town. How do you calculate profit on a wholesale deal? Okay, so I just explained that, right? So you're getting in contract for on a 100K house. I mean, on a 200K house, you got a really good deal. You got it in contract for 100,000. Then you're going to find an end buyer. Now, you still have to make sure that it's still a good deal to your end buyer, okay? So if your end buyer is buying it for 120, you're in contract for 100, and you've sold it for 120, your spread is 20,000, then what's the end buyer going to do with that deal? Can he rehab it? Well, hopefully he can at a good amount. So let's just say the buyer puts about another 20,000 into rehab, okay? Just use some even numbers. So now he's all into that deal bought it for you 120, he's putting 20K into it. Let's hope that deal can sell for at least 200 or 250, so that there's enough meat on the bones for that buyer to make a good spread or a good profit. Make sense? So that's how you calculate it. You have to look at what is in it for that end buyer. You got to treat your buyers good, guys, because that's your livelihood. Thank you for the presents, by the way. All right, I'm going to hop into IG and see. Kong, are you still out there? You should, why don't you join my live? I don't know if I'm cool enough to do that. On IG, you need so many followers, right? Kong's on IG. If you guys don't follow Kong, he's a freaking stud. Anyways, let me just share an interesting story about Kong, okay? Kong got me on TikTok, all right? And I didn't know what TikTok was. I started getting on TikTok, started getting this following on TikTok. And next thing I know, it's like I'm 6 months into TikTok, I think, and I got all these followers. And I'm looking at Kong. Kong grows to like 2.8 million followers on TikTok. That's more than the population of Columbus, guys. Literally, a whole city is following this guy. Anyways, his content's amazing. Go follow him. He's a good dude. And I think he might have dropped off, but he was on my IG. Let's get back to these questions here. I'm part of the community. Didn't hear about the call. When did it happen? Oh man, I text everybody. I did a video. So I'm sorry you missed it, but you're here now. So if you got any questions, let me know. How important is using debt? Okay, this is a good question, guys. How important is it using debt? I have about 85K cash, but could take out a home equity loan on a current home. How good is it? How important is it to use debt? In today's market, use as much debt as possible. Why? Because real estate debt that pays you, that's good debt. That is good debt, right? So if I'm going to use debt right now, here's the reason why. There's low interest rates out there, 3.5%, 4%, all that stuff. You can use that to leverage to getting the good debt that pays you monthly from rental properties. Okay? So I would use good debt. If you have any questions, go review my my Burr videos on IG and TikTok. I talk about how to utilize good debt. Okay. Mentor me, please. Hey, you're part of the community, guys. So for you guys that want to be part of it, text me at that number behind me and text community. I'll send you the link. Okay. One last question, and I gotta run. Let's go on IG. Let's see if anybody. Okay, no questions on IG. If the house is worth more than they would sell it for, is it solo to they sell it solo to a wholesaler? If the house is, That's an advanced strategy. So if they owe more on the house than what it's worth and they want to sell it, the strategy to acquire that is subject to. Go review the subject to video that I have on TikTok to learn about it. And if you want more information, we are coming up with a guide on how to do subject to deals. And we'd love to, we haven't released it yet, but it's a really good strategy to acquire properties right now, especially when people owe too much on their house for what it's worth and they just need out. There's a lot of that stuff's happening right now, guys. All right, they can't make their payments anymore, and unfortunately, they got to give the house up. But you can work out win-win deals with that motivated seller. Thank you for joining this live. I got to run. I'll see you guys soon. I'll probably do another live if I can later on today. But thank you for all that questions. Thanks for interacting. I'll see you guys soon.